Hey guys, welcome. I'm here in the hot box and I wanted to show you how I prep my rosin for isolation. I wanted to show you how the condition I want to make sure the rosin's in prior to starting isolation, so on and so forth. Now I got about 6 grams of rosin. Typically what I do if I get, because I extract so many different strains, if I get some that doesn't look like or is not really smoke worthy to me, you know, it might be great rosin but a little older the plant was, the flower was, or something of that nature, I'll set those aside and let them start buttering up, and then I'll add them all together. So I have a whole bunch of strains in there. So this, you can see it's a big thick hunk of rosin. It's not the worst shape, it's pretty decent stuff, but you can see it's been sitting out and it's got a butter effect to it, so it's buttered up. So what I do at that point is, when it's in the condition that I think is the butter condition, if you will, that I think I can extract it in, is I start to put it in a shape. This isolation, I'm going to use a 7 gram 37 micron bag, which I have here in my hand, and then I'm going to use a portion of a oops, that's 7 gram too. I'm going to use a portion of a 6-inch 15 micron square that I'm going to actually wrap the rosin in. So first what I got to do is I got to shape the rosin, and that's really important to shape it to the outside of the bag here so you see the size that it needs to be. So I want the rosin to come, I want to fill all the corners, and I want it to be about like this, but I still want that thick portion of that THCA. I want that big thick chunk, you know. So I'll get it to about the size that I want it, and I know that I want to bring the sides in and square them up. So this is how I do it. I just simply fold the parchment over to the shape that I want it, and it'll hold that shape to the outside. And I try to work it inward so that the rosin goes to the center of it, and you don't want it thicker on the outside here now. So you work it inward, leaving the parchment folded over, and that gives me a nice square shape that I can actually measure, make the exact size of the bag, and then I can program it in my my Pro Touch I'm going to do the isolation on, so I can program the size exactly into that. So you see how I fold it over like this, and then you just kind of work it, excuse me, just kind of work it in, your fingers up towards the center, just so you don't have the edges much thicker, and when you start your isolation it'll go a lot smoother for you. So basically I come across like that, I get my corner started here. I think I want to put it in just like this. So I'm going to get this a little square, and then I'm going to smash it down a little bit more. And when I smash it between the plates, because I don't want to rip my parchment, it's going to bow the sides out. So I have a NugSmasher over here that's not on. I'd recommend that you guys do this prior to it turning on, prior to turning your unit on. And you can see I want it bigger than the bag, so I want it smushed out like this, so I can make my exact shape right in the inside of the seams of the bag. You see that? So let's take it over to a press now. Put it in here. We'll just apply a little pressure to it. Remember, the press is off. See what that does. We'll do it a little more, just getting it flat. It's about 70 degrees, maybe a little cooler in the room we're in the lab here. So you guys kind of get an idea of what temperature the plates are. All right. So if we're going to make it that shape now, you guys can see how we can do that nicely. So I'm going to start with these sides here. I'm going to bring them in over, and then I'm going to come and bring these outsides in and make it the shape right to the inside of those seams. Use the bag for reference. See where the fold over is where I'm trying to make my exact size, or really close. This is one of the techniques I use to isolate that we seldom talk about. Everybody has their own technique, but a lot of people ask me about this one, so we thought we'd put it out there for you. fuck are the welders listening to? Goddamn Sinatra was listening. You hear that?
Yeah, I was actually.
Or you can hear our, outside the lab here, you can hear the welders, the welding stations out there, and they always have some crazy fucking music on. Right now they're listening, I think it's Frank Sinatra or something. Okay, so we're gonna bring it now. We're gonna square one side off first. Using that same technique that I showed you. Okay, it's okay that your corners come in a little bit. We can tuck those, see? That's just perfect. So what I did is I measured it right to the edges of where it's straight here. So if we take it back like that, it should be just perfect. Let's see. And it is. So now that we got our shape all done, what we'll do is we'll prepare our square here, our micron sheets. Move this out of the way. And sometimes at this point, I typically put that in the fridge for a little bit if you have some time, because it'll cool down and make it a lot easier to deal with. Man, we're so close to being able to use that whole thing. So I'm basically looking at 3 folds of that thing. So this way we're gonna have to trim it down. I'll show you what I mean by 3 folds. So basically this sheet now should go right in the center of this rosin, and then everything should fold over it nice. Okay, so now it's on our micron screen instead of the parchment. You can see if we fold this way, and this is a chance that we can tuck those ears over here. We're right to the edge of that. That's what we're trying to do. So this we're going to tuck in a little as well, right to the edge of that seam, which absolutely won't hurt anything here for your isolation. Okay, and I got rid of our ears as well. Okay, now you see how it should be able to slide in that bag there. So really all we have to do now is we have to fold this over and this over. Should just slide right inside your bag then, real simple. Okay, now you have your isolation ready, your rosin ready for isolation. And then what I do, I'll show you how we wrap the parchment in another episode, but prepping rosin for isolation is really the key to the whole isolation if you guys have tried it and had a hard time. And obviously the product that you're starting with is a key too. But if you tuck it like that and then you follow any of our isolation videos, that might have been the piece you were missing. If so, I'm glad we could help. Remember, our customer service staff's always on 7 days a week, 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. to help you out. So please don't, feel free to always give them a call, chat with them online. If you have some questions, they can always get to me. So happy to help anybody out there. We appreciate your support. And until next time, guys, visit NugSmasher.com, and if you made it this far, use my discount code, Rosin Made Simple. That will save you beat. Rosin Made Simple, good at NugSmasher.com. If you're in the area of one of our dealers, please show them some love. And until next time,